Well, it certainly doesn't look very lively now, but this was once a very busy passenger station. It's Rowley Station, near Consett in Durham. Until quite recently, there were at least goods trains running along this track, though it's some time since passengers were here. We persuaded British Rail to leave it standing when they closed the line, and we're planning to take it down and move it, stone by stone eventually, to the museum.
In 1976, Rowley Station was one of the first buildings to be translocated to Beamish Museum. 50 years later, we've come back to the place where it stood for the vast part of its history. We're here at Rowley Station picnic area near Consett, which is on the C2C, but it was originally part of the Stanhope-Weardale railway line. This station was built by the Wear and Derwent Junction Railway Company, which later became the Wear Valley Railway Company, which was taken over by the Stockton and Darlington Railway Company, and then NER, and well, you get the idea. Here stood the station, so-called Cold Rowley, for the cold temperatures and heavy snowfall that it used to get in the winter.
Are you sure about that? It was also claimed that cold was derived from the word called.
You mean Carled?
Yeah.
Oh, what's this place?
It's called Rowley.
Cold Rowley?
It's called Rowley.
Cold Rowley?
It's called Rowley.
Cold Rowley?
Called Rowley.
Cold Rowley?
Not only is it inhabited by a warm-hearted people, it's also one of the sunniest places in the northeast.
Can I carry anything? So Cold Rowley, the original station, and then it changes names?
Yeah, was that's sort of the mid-1860s when the station became known as Rowley?
Yeah, it looks like it. It looks about that time, and then there's developments from there.
The new building that we have at Beamish didn't come around till the mid-1870s.
Yeah, it looks that way, and the station progresses through the sort of mid to late 19th century with lots of developments and adding new goods and things like that to its services. So do we know anything about who built the station?
Well, I think the design of the station that we have at Beamish was a man called William Peachey, who was the architect for the Stockton and Darlington Railway and later part of the North Eastern Railway.
Yeah, so very important, designed lots of buildings across the area.
There are similar design stations, not exactly the same, but you can look through North Eastern Railway stations across the whole of the North East and find William Peachey designs.
Yeah. Stanhope-on-Tyne was the 6th public railway to open in Britain and the first public railway that ran to Tyneside. Hard to believe that where we are now used to be where the station was.
Yeah, I think it's, the platform over on this side, coal drops over on the left here, and a real centre of the community.
The railway was built to link the limestone industry in Stanhope with the coal mining industry in Medhamsley. And there's now just the fields and nothing really around.
Come on, gents. Let's talk more lunch.
That sounds good to me.
So how many passengers used to use this railway station?
Oh, well, originally it was only goods that travelled through this station. So lime from the limestone quarries and the kilns at Stanhope, and we had some coal coming through, but it grew eventually. So
As soon as there was a railway there, people started to use it. Most of the railways in the area, in fact in the northeast, started off as goods and mineral lines, but it didn't take very long for people to realise it was a good way from getting A to B quite quickly. So you could travel from Stanhope to here and then get the stagecoach from here to Corbridge, which ran on the A68, which runs just at the end of the station.
And the passengers were added around 1846, is that when,
That's right,
when we
yeah,
get passenger service from here? And you see newspaper articles from the year after where they're running coaches out from Black Hill to the station, so as you can catch the train from here and go all the way to Crook.
And that eventually the Darlington to Black Hill was the service, and there was a special bay platform in Black Hill Station, which was the main station for Consett, that catered for the trains which came from Darlington through Rowley. And there were 4 services each way, and by 1913, which is really the sort of peak of travel, it's about 13,000 passengers booking from Rowley per year.
That's a lot of passengers.
It is quite a lot when you consider the population of Rowley is what, about 30?
It's 30 at max, I think. And yeah, occasionally they used to collect the passenger tickets for Black Hill here as well,
That's
which
right.
sometimes led to confusion.
And fights, sadly.
And fights, yes, fights. Poor station masters, who would be one. Sometimes they they caught the burden of being in the middle of taking a ticket that went to Black Hill. And
some wonderful stories of one particular station master who was attacked 3 times in one day, and the local police had to be called.
the workers of Rowley took their job very seriously, and I'm about to meet one now.
While he's in there doing that, I'll show you around a bit. Follow me. So first up is the booking office. That's where you'd book your tickets and decide where you'd want to go. After that, the wait for the train. If you were a man, out here, in the cold, on this bench. But if you were a woman or a child, you got to come into here, the lovely warm waiting room, where you'd not only have a nice warm fire, you'd also have your own toilet. So Rowley Station had all of the essentials that a train station of this period would have needed.
Excuse me, what time's the next train?
Oh, should be along in just a couple of minutes.
Oh, great, great. So Rowley Station had 4 trains, 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening, 1 in each direction.
But the stations became a sort of hub of the local community, really. So you'd have postal service. So Rowley has a post box set in it. You'd use that as parcels delivery. So if you wanted to send something from here to a relative, then you came to the railway station and they did it. And they had to take everything. So from the smallest item to the largest item, there were common carrier regulations for the railways.
Yeah, it helps expand the population of the area really as well, and I use the term expand loosely, I think, for Rowley in that sense, but it did see a population growth from the railway being here.
I think you find that in a lot of stations all over the country, really, that people tended to move where the transport was. And of course, after World War I, when you start to get bus services and the rise of private car ownership, so by the 1930s, Rowley is disappearing off the passenger carrying list. Obviously having a private motor car is much more convenient. So the passenger service at this station, Rowley, was withdrawn on the 1st of May 1939. So long before Dr. Beeching came along. So having a private motor car is a great advantage.
And is that why we've come in your car?
That's why we're coming out Rowley today.
It's a very lovely ride.
By the late 1930s, I mean, the passenger service ended in May 1939. You were probably looking at 200 or 300 people per year using the station for passenger services as opposed to 13,000. It's a big drop and not very economic.
Yeah, and easier ways to get around, and we're seeing the better roads coming in and better services on those, and it just becomes slower, I think, for a lot of things. And the terrain, certainly towards Stanhope from here, is not the easiest to cross.
And I mean, what are you going to do? If you live in Castleside, which is probably a 20-minute walk from here, are you going to walk to the railway station to get the train, or are you going to get the bus that stops outside your house?
I'm going to get the bus.
Exactly, and that's what most people did.
Per trains.
It's a really lovely day today, but obviously during the Edwardian period, wasn't there a particular bad winter?
Yeah, certainly. 1910 seen the train that came out stuck with passengers at this station, and what happened was the station master and his wife had to take those passengers in and look after them, feed them, and keep them safe for 3 days until they could get back out and back on their way. So station masters in this sort of area and this sort of climate played a really important role in looking after passengers, not just on their journey through, but if they ever got into difficulties or anything like that.
Oh, that's amazing.
It was quite prone to snow and drifting and blockages on this particular line. The North Eastern Railway had 2 snow ploughs which were stationed just up the line in that direction at Wascley, that were there to keep the line open, and quite often most of the snow ploughs were operating around the concert area, so that sometimes the Flying Scotsman would get stuck on the East Coast main line because there were no ploughs available, because they were all trying to keep these lines open for mineral traffic.
I was going to say, what was it?
Yeah, I mean, the passengers were really secondary. It was the industry that kept things going, so the need for limestone for the steel works, local ganister quarries, things like that, that's what really made the money.
The line ran through Hellhole Wood, past Eden Place, which is by the entrance to Beamish as you come in, and on to Beamish Station. Although to get to Beamish Station, you'd have to go from Rowley to Black Hill and change, and then like these dogs head onwards. Goods could go straight through. So it's no mean feat moving an entire building from somewhere like here. I believe it's about circa 15 miles to Beamish and getting that all rebuilt as well. So there must have been loads of people involved, numerous members of staff, and a lot of goodwill on a lot of people's parts as well.
I think over the years there's been probably far too many people to mention. Staff, volunteers, people who've helped out the museum, and of course the whole station area at Beamish isn't all from Rowley. It's only the main building that's from Rowley, but we have got the wake cabin, the footbridges, the coal drops, are all, and the goods shed are all brought from other North Eastern railway stations and put together to show what a typical station would have looked like.
And it's been put together so well, they've even recreated an embankment to give the right sense, the right look to it.
Yeah, I think it's after 50 years, it looks as though it's always been there, and there's no reason why you would ever think any of it hadn't been there for all this time. And I think you should remember, or we should remember, that that's quite an achievement. And it's probably the first major translocated building that was put up at Beamish and reopened, so it's something to be celebrated.
It's been taken to a lot of people's hearts as well. There's been proposals down there. For some people it's their favourite place. It gets a lot of visitors passing through, and it is a nice place to be.
It's wonderful to see in just that corner of Beamish so much of the northeast represented as well, and it's such a fantastic place for our visitors to go.
And it's still, the building itself does still owe some things back to the way it was at Rowley, because it never actually got gas lighting or electricity, and it still doesn't have gas or electricity in it to this day. It's still only lit by oil lamps.
And it's that sort of attention to detail that you see down there that really makes it come to life, really brings people back to the period that it would have been sitting here and being used by people. And I think people really feel that when they go down there now.
I think it's the effort that's been put into the gardens as well that surround it. There's the team down there take such care of the allotments, making it look and feel as good as
What follows on a fine tradition, because Rowley was regularly in the Best Kept Station Awards in the Edwardian period, probably because the staff had a little bit of spare time in between the infrequent passenger service and the goods traffic to keep the station looking at its real best.
Yes, people even write into the newspapers to commend the station master on the good work he's done, so it's good to see that tradition carried on as well through our daily engagement down there.
Yeah, I think, you know, people should enjoy the station and say a little bit of a thanks to all the volunteers and staff who look after it and really feel an affection for it.
It's great to be here at Rowley and celebrate Rowley's journey to Beamish and understand and recognise that all our buildings have come from places and the stories have come from people of the North East. So come and celebrate 50 years of Rowley Station at Beamish Museum this year. Now, I've got to go because I've got some cake waiting. Oh, thank you.
Rowley.
Cold.
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 Cold?
It's called Rowley.
A cold Rowley.
It's called Rowley.
Yeah, cold. Cold Rowley.
It's called Rowley.